I often get asked, Sunny, if I start to observe my feelings and not react, if I start to live in acceptance of what is happening, of what is, how will I stand up for myself? Aren't others just going to walk all over me? Don't I need to protect myself certain times? Don't I need to take a certain action sometimes to secure my well being? And this is the main thing that you will never make sense until you really genuinely start practicing acceptance. So it's difficult to portray, but only when you start to live in acceptance, when you start to follow and practice the teaching genuinely, the way that we share it, only then do you come to start seeing how life takes care of life. In acceptance, I no longer need to defend myself. In acceptance, nothing that anybody does can take anything away from me. Acceptance is not from the standpoint of being an individual person that needs to secure his or her well-being. But again, this can't reveal itself by thinking about acceptance. This understanding only matures through the practice of it. Even in the beginning, when it doesn't make sense and you're just practicing on faith, you start to then little by little see that actually, when I no longer just react, when I no longer just fight my circumstances or resist life, resist what is happening, resist my own emotions, when I stop trying to figure things out in my head, still the proper action comes forth spontaneously. Previously, it was like all this thinking that I was doing was taking credit for the spontaneous action that was coming forth that secured my well-being. But now that is seen to be the illusion. This thinking that comes in to take credit for this and that and this and that. And at the heart of that thinking is some individual me that is in control of life. That is seen to be the illusion. And so you can let go of those training wheels. And now it's more and more apparent, apparent that life is living life rather than this individual me having a life living it. It starts to become more and more apparent that there is no conflict. It is the individual that is always at conflict with other things and other people and other situations. But that which I am is never in any conflict. It's very space-like, in which anything is allowed, accepted, embraced. So one who lives in acceptance no longer worries about his or her existence. The worry itself is purely seen and accepted. But no longer does one dwell in narratives and stories about it. Validating some sense of personhood, the person that is taking care or is in charge, responsible for finding security, making sure it's okay. So, this is the invitation, you see. Practice the teaching of acceptance, which is learning to observe without judgment, which is learning to be in a full embrace of any object of experience, whether it be an uncomfortable feeling, a circumstance, seeing without story making, being without resisting, and watch how, moment by moment, the correct action comes out of that. And whatever action comes out of acceptance spontaneously will lead to further harmony in the realm of objects rather than dysfunction, which results from resistance. Only the practice of acceptance can reveal this subtle truth, these subtle dynamics of life to you. Now, if you need help with this, if you're wondering what is the teaching of acceptance, I will link my acceptance playlist up here. You can start going through those videos and understanding the practice and how to implement it into your daily life. I'll also link down below my acceptance resource, which is my Letting Go Masterclass. You can go through that and learn the subtle dynamics of this practice. And also, as always, if you want my personal help with this, if you want to be surrounded by a group, support, always having the support that you need to stay consistent with this, to dissolve your doubts, your fears, your resistances, and to bring your intellectual understanding of these teachings to your direct experience. If you want to master your understanding of acceptance and realize at your essence that you are acceptance, you can learn more about my School of Awakening. I'll also link that down below in the description box. You'll find it very, very helpful. And if it is something that you like to do, you can move forward with that and apply for it. That's all for me for today. I'll see you next time.